Mesdames et Messieurs, welcome to the Barrière d'Enfer. My name is Joseph Delon. I have lived here since the day of my birth.
Joseph Delon. This is the old toll house in the Barrière d'Enfer. I'm here on top secret business. I was wondering if I could use your underground base.
Something brought me here, specifically to this place, the Barrière d'Enfer. An anomaly, a pothole in the fabric of space-time, maybe a paradox.
The gates of hell. As names go, it's a little on the nose. I mean, a tunnel full of skulls? Kind of ghoulish, don't you think?
In the Barrière d'Enfer, the dead protecting the living.
Don't you just love that story?
We have been expecting you, Doctor. We have been expecting you for some time.
What is it?
That is a cyborg from the distant future, and it's here to turn you into its slave and accomplice in wiping out the human race.
It's me he's after. We need to distract him. Lead him away from the others, or it'll be a massacre.
You've got a hat on your hat stand.
Well, yes.
I can't remember the last time I wore a hat.
Hey everyone, Gallifrey Forever 07 and welcome to today's review. We're going to talk about Out of Time 2, the sequel to Out of Time 1, which is a trilogy of stories centering around the 10th Doctor, meeting past classic Doctors, including the 4th, 5th and 6th Doctor. And today is Out of Time 2, which is the reuniting of David Tennant and Peter Davison, of course, back in 2007, the Children Need Special Time Crash, which is greatly adored. This is a different scenario where it's a kind of continuation of that. It's not kind of like, oh my god, it's you. It's more of a kind of, I know you. We met that last time. Before I get into my thoughts about the story featuring the Cybermen titled Gates of Hell, I'm going to read you the synopsis. So in Paris, 1809, the Fifth Doctor takes a tour of the catacombs and meets a sassy time agent doing the same. Paris, 1944. The 10th Doctor misses his target and lands in occupied France. He hides from the Nazis in the catacombs. A collision of the two Doctors' timelines triggers a temporal catastrophe, granting the Cybermen domain over the Earth. The Doctors must travel back in time to find the source of the Cyber invasion and close the gates of hell. So as I mentioned, this is a continuation from Time Crash. Of course, David Tennant is the son-in-law to Peter Davison, so there's that kind of meta thing as well. So in this story, they get on like a house on fire. Compared to like multi-Doctor stories in the past, where you've had the Doctor like not getting on initially, and they kind of resolve by the end. They're just buddies through and through, and it's a really great thing. It kind of gives that fresh perspective to multi-Doctor stories, which we've obviously had multiple times, but this is kind of a new take on it, obviously with continuing an already established dynamic. The story's structured quite uniquely as well, kind of starting at the end, where we kind of have the Cybermen army, and then kind of going back in time, as it says in the synopsis, to find out the kind of source of it. And it kind of goes like smaller and smaller in scale. Funny investigation scene with the 10th Doctor and the 5th Doctor trying to work out where to go next. There's a great comment from the 5th Doctor, and he says to the 10th Doctor, this is quite nice, just like investigate no explosions, we're taking our time, this is great. They kind of speak too soon at that point, because they do get invaded by Cybermen, so they like be chased through a graveyard. So even this is the 10th Doctor story, which I could quite easily see being set within the specials, but there's no specific like time range mentioned. The 5th Doctor's more like calming presence, kind of vibrates through the story. Actually, on the cover, the Cybermen are the foe of this story. Those are kind of going down from obviously Daleks to the last one now to the Cybermen, an already established villain. And they do quite a new thing with them. They play a really mysterious role. It's not the conventional Cybermen being, oh, you must be destroyed, deleted, etc. But with their plan to work, they really need to be calculating, work in the shadows, which adds a new sort of dynamic really, with their sort of grand plan to invade. So that was really cool to have that uniqueness of the Cybermen. Obviously, over 50 plus years of stories of them, it must be hard to kind of think, what do we do with this great foe next? And obviously that's probably with many other Doctor Who villains in the past. Obviously you have the conventional like Cybermen blowing up stuff and the mass army, but to have that more calculating side was really cool. There's a lot of great Easter eggs and references. The Fifth Doctor gets mistaken for having K9 by the time agent named Tina, and he's like, oh no, sorry, that's wrong. On the flip side, the 10th Doctor, there's a great moment where he gets the opportunity to fly the Fifth Doctor's like classic style TARDIS, and it's kind of meta because obviously the Doctor's fanboy, but you can tell it's sort of David Tennant as well, like control the classic TARDIS as a Doctor Who fan. So yeah, there's so many little nice Easter eggs kind of mixed in with this kind of historical story. Accompanying him is Tina Drake. She's a time agent. She's there for the same reason the Fifth Doctor is, for this like time anomaly stuff, and she was a lot of fun. I really loved her presence in the story, kind of really elevated sort of moments. She can obviously pull the trigger on a Cyberman where the 10th Doctor and 5th Doctor cannot, so it's great to have that, and she was such a ball of energy. I think it's her first story within Big Finish, and I hope they do bring her back for maybe other stories, because I just thought that the character and the actress brought a lot of fun to it. She re-elevated the scenes that she was in. The villain which you think is helping the Cybermen is Joseph Dillon, played by Mark Gatiss. When we first meet him, we think he's this like power mad, I'm going to be wanting to take over the universe, I want to be a god. But by the time we get to the end and they've kind of gone to the origins of the story, it's a very kind of sad character arc. You really have sympathy for him, which is great with villains. The most successful villains are the ones that you understand, and the ones you kind of get like, oh, okay, I can understand your motives, like even though they're bad. Then this is one of those really. So it's of course going to start off as like a conventional villain, and then kind of understand the origins and where he's kind of gone wrong and stuff, to no fault of his own. To give overall thoughts now, I'd say it is a lot of fun. It continues a great dynamic of the 5th Doctor and 10th Doctor. That's kind of the central point of the story. The Cybermen are a great addition, giving them a new aspect of being mysterious and calculating, kind of embed their way into invading the Earth. I'd say Tina Drake, she was such a fun character. I hope she returns. And you got Mark Gatiss as a great villain, which you understands morals. So yeah, overall, fun historical stories, a lot of funny moments, some action moments, and great imagery. And so the Cybermen, even though they're the invasion, they're described as sort of the older version of the Cybermen. In the behind the scenes thing at the end, one of the producers said that him and Nick Briggs just loved the invasion Cybermen, so that's why they picked it. So there's no kind of like specific thing. But if you're a fan of Time Crash, I highly recommend picking this one up. It's great to have a historical story as well, kind of told in a non-traditional order as well, kind of starting at the end and working themselves back to how it all started. And these on a really fun note, which I hope kind of resolves, and we see the 10th Doctor and the 5th Doctor reunite again at some point down the future. Thank you very much for watching my review. As always, you can please comment, like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. What did you think of Out of Time 2, The Gates of Hell? Have you listened to it? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.